The Karen people have lived in the mountains of eastern Myanmar for centuries. But since the Karen Revolution began in the late 1940s, generations of Karen have grown up without a place to call home. Caught in the crossfire between the Burmese and Karen military forces, they have never known a day without war. From birth, they live ready to flee at a moment's notice. Tonight, they might sleep in a bamboo hut in their own village, but tomorrow they may be running, hiding in a jungle or a cave, or fleeing to a refugee camp across the Thailand border. The Karen place a high value on education, but keeping up with your studies can be challenging when you're living on the run, and many Karen boys are pressured to join the fighting. Here, amid the unpredictability of life on the Thailand-Myanmar border, Katule Adventist School is part of a network of many remote ASAP-supported jungle mission schools, offering an education and hope to Karen young people displaced by war.
When I was young, my family often had to flee from the war. Because we were always moving, I couldn't attend school. But when we moved to the Mela refugee camp in Thailand, my mother sent me to school for the very first time.
In the refugee camp, Bolu was safe from the fighting, but his life wasn't free from conflict. Family problems soon forced him to move again, this time to live with his older sister. Though raised Buddhist, Bolu's sister had converted to Christianity, and she sent him to the local Baptist school, where he was introduced to the Bible.
When I used to go to the Buddhist temple, I couldn't understand anything because they worshipped in an old Buddhist language. But when I came to the Baptist school, all the reading, singing, and speaking was in Karen. So it encouraged me to learn more. Even though I still considered myself a Buddhist, I remember trying to pray to the Christian's God. I said, if you exist, please show me some kind of truth. I promised that if he showed me truth, I would accept it and work for him.
When Bolu learned what the Bible taught about idol worship, he rejected Buddhism. Eventually, he even got baptized, along with several of his friends, but he did not yet understand the life-changing power of the gospel. And as a teenager, he started using alcohol and drugs. He also began planning to join the army. But God had other plans for Bolu. After living with his sister's family for a few years, Bolu moved again to live with relatives on the Thai-Myanmar border, and eventually ended up in the dormitory of Katule Adventist School.
We built this school because we saw a lot of children, like Bolu, getting into bad habits. We wanted them to be blessed and to meet not only their educational needs, but also their spiritual needs. When Bolu arrived here, I could see that he hadn't fully accepted God into his life yet, but he was searching. He was always reading the Bible and listening to sermons. We have witnessed the Holy Spirit touching the lives of many young people here, and I knew that God was working on Bolu's heart.
When I came here and started learning about prophecy and the Adventist health message, the second coming of Jesus, and the Sabbath, it was very confusing to me at first. But as I searched the Bible, little by little, I realized that I had found the truth and that it was changing me. I lost interest in the things of this world, and I decided to get rebaptized into the Seventh-day Adventist Church.
Bolu's family noticed the change in him too. They were pleased to see him giving up his bad habits, but they were concerned about the opposition his newfound faith would bring.
Most of my family supported my decision. My mother and sister told me, whatever you're going to believe, follow it with all your heart. But my dad warned me that there would be persecution if I joined the Adventist Church. And he was right. My friends and neighbors began making fun of me and talking about me behind my back. They said I was weak and always changing my beliefs. Many of them rejected me.
Bolu stood firm in his choice to get re-baptized, but another decision was looming. He had arranged to join the army after finishing 10th grade, yet as the time approached, he felt uneasy.
The summer before my 10th grade year, one of my friends invited me to attend a Bible camp. I had never heard of the place and I didn't want to go, but the Holy Spirit convicted me to go. I didn't have the money to travel, but God worked a miracle and impressed my grandmother to support me. That experience really strengthened my faith and my desire to serve God.
As Bolu prayed about his future, the staff at Katule Adventist School were interceding for him too. They had seen the transformation in his life, and they recognized his potential to become a powerful witness for the gospel.
I could see that God had a plan for Bolu. During his last year of school, he received a call to serve as a missionary, teaching and doing Bible work in another village. Bolu is a humble young man, and whenever God speaks to him, he doesn't hesitate. He accepted the call to be a missionary and chose not to join the army.
The school I'm working at is in a new village. The village and the school are not Christian, and I have faced many hardships and much opposition. But I am not discouraged because I know God has a plan, and I put my trust in Him. My biggest goal in my mission work is that sinners will come to know Jesus. The children I teach give me joy to continue working for God. When they see me coming, they say, "The teacher is coming," and they run to the school and sit down and wait for me. And when I arrive, they ask to hear a story and see the picture rolls I use.
For me, it was such a blessing to see this young man working for God. Sometimes the problems we face are overwhelming. Many people don't want Kautule Adventist School to be here. And since we serve poor families who cannot afford to pay tuition or even their children's food and clothing, it is a constant challenge to keep the school operating. Many times we have prayed with tears that God would keep the school going. When we see Him working mightily in the lives of young people like Bolu, we know that He is guiding us and that His hand is with us.
The light of the gospel is piercing the darkness of poverty, war, and spiritual confusion on the Thai-Myanmar border. At ASAP Ministries, we believe God is raising up an army of youth like these to share the good news of salvation and Jesus' soon return with the Karen people. That's why we're so passionate about supporting the teachers in schools, equipping young people for this very purpose. And you can join us through your faithful prayers and your heartfelt gifts, and by sharing this opportunity with your friends and family and encouraging them to get involved. There is no greater joy than witnessing a life transformed from marginalized to missionary. Will you help finish this special work among the Karen? It really does not cost as much as you'd think to support an entire jungle mission school for 1 year. The average cost for a small ASAP jungle mission school is $4,000. Isn't that amazing? If your local church or school would sponsor one jungle mission school, you can make a huge impact on the lives of hundreds of precious children. Visit our website at asapministries.org or call 269-471-3026 because Jesus is coming soon. Now, more than ever, mission matters.